Hello, hello, hello. Hello everyone. I'm just gonna very quickly check that this is all working. I need to have a look at this and see if this is actually no, that's a bit too fast. Come on, slow it down. No, vertical speed, it's not going to change vertical speed. Can I have that at 0, please? Thank you. Yeah, there we go. Hello everyone! So yeah, this is going to be the first sort of brand new stream. So this is the first stream I've got with this new sort of setup. I've been working on this for a wee while. Unfortunately, I've been trying to get like an alert box set up for whenever someone subscribes or something like that. But unfortunately, I haven't been able to get any gifts because whenever I try to get gifts, it just fails. So yeah, there you go. But yeah, I just thought I'd do a late night live stream with something that is very, very special. Oh, sorry if you can hear something in the background. I'll mute myself for a minute just to check this is working. Okay, let me look at this. Sorry if you can hear something in the background. I'll mute myself for a minute just to check. Yeah, there we go. Hello everyone. Okay, so there we go. That's a bit better now. I can see that the chat has started to open up. Hello everyone. Sorry for the really late stream, but I just thought I'd very quickly do a stream just sort of reviewing the Mexican GP qualifying. So yeah, I missed actually the first few minutes of qualifying since I was in the shower, obviously getting ready for bed. So qualifying begun just in a normal way. And then suddenly, of course, we had the first red flag of the session when Lance Stroll. Let me just get a picture of it. Had a huge crash in qualifying today. So let me just get a picture of it. Oh, come on. It's just a load of pictures of his crash in Bahrain last year. I'm looking for, you know what I'll do? I'll just go into the F1 Twitter account. Sorry, everyone, this is a bit ill-prepared. F1 Twitter. So, yeah, here we go. So I just gotta, that's where I got all these images from. That's where I got all these images from, if you're wondering. Because I just looked through F1's tweet history. So there you go. Let me just have a quick look at this. Copy image. I think I'll add this to the sort of slideshow. So yeah, this is, I think I've done a pretty good job of this. I'll keep working on it. I'll keep improving it. So I'll add another file to this. So let me just. So what I've done is I've made a folder called Stream 1, and I've put all these images in them. So there we go. I'm just gonna add that to the crop now. So hang on a second. So there we go. So I'm trying to see, when will it, there we go. So there's Lance Stroll's quite big crash. He had an off at the final corner, very similar to Valtteri Bottas's accident a few years ago. And thankfully he's all right. He just took a bit of a knock, but he's all right. So that's good to see and good to hear. But as you can see there, the two Red Bulls, Max Verstappen and Sergio Perez. Of course, there was a little bit of argy-bargy between those two, I guess you could say, because Verstappen had a lap halted, but we'll talk about that a little bit later. But in Q1, there was obviously 5 drivers eliminated, and in Q1 the drivers that were eliminated were obviously Lance Stroll, because he didn't get a proper lap in, the 2 Haases of Nikita Mazepin and Mick Schumacher, Nicholas Latifi's Williams, and Fernando Alonso's Alpine, although that's not what the actual grid's going to look like, because there's several grid penalties for some drivers. So then Q2 started, and there wasn't any crashes, although Giovinazzi did have an incident right at the end of the session, and he ended up finishing P14 in that particular session, the only man behind him being Esteban Ocon, which wrapped up a pretty poor day overall for Alpine. Then 13th place was George Russell. Of course, he's not actually starting 13th on the grid, because he's got grid penalties, but so is some others, so he's actually not starting 18th. So then we got Kimi Räikkönen in 12th. Again, that's not where he's going to be starting. And then Sebastian Vettel in the golden spot of 11th. 10th was Lando Norris, who actually didn't put in a proper lap. He gave a tow to his teammate. And then it was Carlos Sainz in a McLaren sandwich. And then... Oh wait, no, that's Q2's results. My bad. So yeah, it was Lando Norris that was 10th. 9th was Yuki Tsunoda. And then it was Charles Leclerc in P8. 7th was Daniel Ricciardo. My apologies. And then it was Carlos Sainz. And then it was the AlphaTauri Pierre Gasly, who put in a pretty good performance, beating both Ferraris and both McLarens. Yuki Tsunoda also doing a good job, although I'm pretty sure he's going to get an absolute, and sorry for the language, but he'll get a bollocking from Helmut Marko for holding up Verstappen and Perez on their laps, as he distracted Perez to go off the track, and that led to Verstappen having to slow down a little bit because he feared yellow flags were going to come out. But let's talk about the real stars of the show, and that was Mercedes. I mean, absolutely brilliant qualifying performance, not only from Valtteri Bottas, who took his, I believe, 18th pole in Formula 1, and in second place was Lewis Hamilton, who will be quite disappointed with that, considering he is only 1 place ahead of title rival Max Verstappen. But Mercedes are going to absolutely love that. They're probably going to be partying into the night, although they have got a long day ahead of them tomorrow, because every single race could have huge consequences on the Constructors' Championship, and that's what I'm going to talk about now. So yeah, qualifying, I'll give each team a quick rating out of 10 based on their qualifying performance, and I will give my predictions for the race. So Mercedes, I'll give a strong 8 out of 10. I'll give them a 9 actually. Absolutely nailed the setups for both Hamilton and Bottas. They understood what needed to happen. They both needed clean air, and they both needed a perfect lap time. Both drivers performing to the absolute maximum that they could, getting a 1-2. Bottas said that the first run in Q3 was probably one of his best laps, and it was a good feeling. Hamilton second, he was quite disappointed. Let me just get Hamilton's quote up. Valtteri did an amazing job. He's been driving really well in the last few races, and we didn't think we had the pace this weekend, so to lock at the front row is pretty special. That's what Hamilton said. And then we have Red Bull. I'd give them I'd give them a 4, purely because they absolutely screwed up. And to be fair, it wasn't really Red Bull's fault. It was Tsunoda and Perez who held up Verstappen. Although, to be fair, Tsunoda is a rookie, so you can't expect him to not make mistakes. I mean, he's made a few already this season, but he's not had a bad season, Tsunoda. I think people have put way too much pressure on him because of his how good he was in the junior categories, especially in that crappy Genzer in Formula 3. But yeah, talking about Red Bull, Verstappen, I mean, he wasn't improving a lot on his second lap anyway, but to get that hindrance with the yellow flag really did not help him out. And then Sergio Perez, he was distracted by Tsunoda's incident, a bit like in Baku when Sainz, also coincidentally it was Tsunoda. Sainz got distracted by Tsunoda in Baku, bit similar to that. Let's hope we have a race as good as Baku tomorrow. AlphaTauri, they have done a pretty good job this weekend. I'd give them probably a 9 as well. Gasly outperforming Sainz, Leclerc and Ricciardo and Norris is pretty impressive if you ask me, especially because Ferrari and McLaren are battling for third in the Constructors and AlphaTauri are battling for fifth with Alpine, who have had an absolute mare. Ferrari, I'd give probably a 6 or a 7. To be fair, this is a track that needs engine power, and Ferrari still haven't got a strong engine like they used to. So yeah, that's 6th and 8th. I think that Sainz has done a good job there. He's put himself ahead of Ricciardo, and Ricciardo's now in an uncomfortable situation because he's got a Ferrari behind and in front of him. So then we got Leclerc in 8th and 9th Tsunoda and Lando Norris 10th. Then we got Aston Martin. Vettel did a really, really good job, I think, because he's P11 on the grid. He's going to have an advantage compared to Tsunoda, which means that he might actually have a chance against him at the start of the race because Tsunoda will be on softs. Vettel will be on mediums, meaning Vettel by the end of Tsunoda's stint will probably be past him. Apparently Vettel's long runs were quite good, so that'll be very interesting to keep an eye on him for the race. Kimi Räikkönen, solid job from Alfa Romeo. I'd give them a 7 out of 10. I'd give an Aston Martin a 6, solid 6. Williams, I mean, They can't really do a lot, but George Russell maximising that car performance as always. I don't think he would have been too disappointed, especially because he is starting. He's got a 5-place grid penalty, so I'd give Williams a 7, and then we move on to Alpine. I'm gonna give them probably a 4, likewise with Red Bull, of course, because 15th and 16th on the initial grid. It's not the actual grid, of course, but the initial grid is nothing to write home about. Especially because they're battling with AlphaTauri for 5th in the Constructors, and AlphaTauri has had an amazing qualifying, and if it was the way that qualifying went, AlphaTauri would be getting 12 points on them. Now, if you have a look at the actual championship standings, you'll see that the difference between AlphaTauri and Alpine is only 10 points. So if AlphaTauri finish the way that they qualified, they'll go 2 points ahead of Alpine with 4 races to go. And that puts Alpine on the back foot a little bit when it comes to the last few races. So then we move on finally to Haas, and I'm just going to give them 1 out of 10 just because they're Haas. So I think now I'm going to give my predictions for what I think the top 10 will be. So on pole position, the person who I think was going to win the race, I think Max Verstappen is going to win the Grand Prix of Mexico City Grand Prix, and that is because I think he's really, really good around Mexico. He's always had a sort of thing for Mexico, and he's always been good around there. Obviously, he took second place on the grid in 2018, and he won the race. He won in 2017 as well, and he almost got he looked like he got pole in 2019, but he had a grid penalty because he didn't slow down for Bottas's crash. And I think he will win ahead of Lewis Hamilton, and I think Sergio Perez will get that Nigel Mansell boost. If you don't know what that means, Nigel Mansell, who obviously drove in the 1980s and 90s, once said that the British fans, or his home fans, gave him an extra 5/10 of a second. I think that's going to happen with Perez in the race, and I think he's going to end up on the podium to the delight of the Mexican fans. Of course, that'd be the first time a Mexican's been on the podium in Mexico. Of course, a Mexican's never been on pole either. So, there you go. So then, I think 5th place, I think Leclerc's going to have a good race. I think Sainz is going to be 5th. Gasly is probably going to be. I think Ricardo will be. I think Leclerc will be 6th. Gasly will be 7th. 8th will be Ricardo. 9th will be. I think Vettel might get a couple of points. I think no. 9th will be Lando, and I think 10th will be. I'm gonna say Vettel because I think Lando is gonna have a stormer from the back of the field, and I think he's gonna get some points. So yeah, there's your predictions. So I just wanted to very quickly do a quick live stream. I don't know how long this has actually been going for. It has been going for, let me just have a quick look at this, 15 minutes. Quick 15-minute stream. So yeah, thank you all for watching. It's very late, so I understand why there's not many people watching this. But the stream quality is only going to get better as time goes on. And yeah, thank you for watching, and I will see you all tomorrow, since I might be doing a live stream for the race.